guys, and welcome to my review of Haikyuu chapter 214, Monsters. And we start off with Yamaguchi improving his jump floater serve by trying to make the ball have a higher speed so that it will be harder to predict how it will change course because there's less time to react in. And that's a logical improvement for Yamaguchi, but I'm really glad that we start off with his kind of character development and how he's developing as a player. We also cut to a practice match between Karasuno and Tokonami, and I think Tokonami is the school that they first beat in the inter-high preliminaries back in like season 1, first match they had. And we see Yamaguchi trying his new serve and failing. He has too much speed and it goes out of bounds. And we also see that Tanaka is now trying to perfect his jump serve, which of course only Kageyama and Asahi can do. We see him try it and we also see him fail, so he still has a long way to go until he can perfect it. But at least he's trying, and I think he will have it ready for whenever the spring tournament eventually comes. Then we cut to Hinata again, and we see that he's still improving and using his position as the ball boy to try to predict the trajectory of the spikes, and we also see him reflect on how the practice that they're in right now is going to be a lot more different from actual matches because first and foremost, there are more people. You don't know who is actually gonna spike the ball. When you have 3 players running, you won't know who's gonna spike it until the toss goes up. So Hinata thinks that he might not have the luxury to do his sidestep because you have to do it just before you have to move, and since he won't know who the toss will go to, he won't know exactly when to do his sidestep. So yeah. But as Hinata is improving, we have people acknowledging, and by people I mean the younger coach of Shiratoriza, we have them acknowledging that Hinata is improving, and we have this really great comment about how Hinata started from almost nothing, and because he was like kind of a clean plate or clean something. He has no habits, no bad habits that stands in his way of improving and getting these techniques. And this little comment about habits is something I'm gonna discuss a little bit later. So we have people acknowledging Hinata, and then we also have Tsuki getting fired up because Hinata is kind of glaring at him and making him want to improve because Hinata's presence is just like, it's there, and it annoys Tsuki so much that he needs to improve and he needs to really do his best. And I think that was a nice moment too. I'm a little bit sad that we didn't get more than that one page of Tsukishima because he is my favorite character, but I am expecting more from him, as I am expecting him to get new techniques for when the spring tournament comes, because even though he has had great character development and he is really getting into volleyball at the moment, he doesn't really have any new techniques, so I want to see that. We also have a short conversation between Tendo and Ushiwaka about how Hinata and Kageyama are 2 small monsters or little monsters, and that's where the chapter title comes in. And it's kind of like, I wasn't quite sure why the conversation was there. I mean, there was a really great moment where you see like a mini Hinata and a mini Kageyama being like, we're gonna devour all the humans, which is really funny. But other than that, I think it was just like showing that Hinata and Kageyama are more than like normal players, because as Tendo said, Wakatoshi 2 is a monster. So and then the last scene we have with Hinata is him talking to Kindaiichi, and they have this conversation about Kageyama, and it's interesting how whenever these 2 characters interact with each other, it's always Kageyama. Kageyama's always like the focus of their conversation. But either way, Kindaiichi asks Hinata why he's trying so hard to become better and why he's always training and being so eager about everything. And Hinata gives the answer that it's because he wants to beat Kageyama. But right now, of course, Kageyama is at the Japan training camp, so he's far ahead of him. But then Kindaichi points out, well, since he's at this elite training camp, don't you think that that Kageyama might be like getting wrecked at the moment? And then we cut to Kageyama's location, and at first we just have this mini introduction to the second years who are currently playing, and that includes Sakusa, yeah. But then we see Kageyama trying to spike a ball, and he fails by getting blocked. And then we see Kageyama trying to toss the ball, and then he fails because he forgets that he is not actually tossing to Hinata. And this is where habits come into play again, because as Kageyama says, he's tossed the ball where he did because of habits. And that's going to be a big problem because he's used to tossing the ball wherever there are no blockers, because he knows that's where Hinata will be. But problem is, he's not playing with Hinata anymore, so he has to adapt to the situation. He has to adapt to not playing with a person who moves like he wants them to move. He has to, once and for all, get out of that king of the court ego shit. So I'm really interested in seeing how Kageyama will deal with his habits of always tossing to a Hinata-like person. I mean, he can toss and play with the other people of Karasuno. We've seen this because he's the official setter, but half of his attacks are Hinata related, so he needs to be able to break these habits, and I think this might be where Hinata will get kind of like an advantage, because he will probably be able to grow more over the course of this week that they have than Kageyama will, because he needs to break down his bad habits first. But yeah, that was kind of all I had to say about this chapter. Please leave a like if you liked anything that I had to say, and leave a comment below where you think the story is going and how you think Kageyama will deal with his situation, and how Hinata is going to improve in a way that will help him in actual matches later on. And yeah, subscribe to me if you want to see more of me. I also do reviews of One Piece and Shokugeki no Soma, and those reviews for this week's chapter should already be up, so go check those out. And yeah, bye!